Hey guys, this is Nick with Adrenaline Cycles. We just got done building 2 new race bikes for next season's races and wanted to take this chance to go over them, show you what bikes we picked, why we picked them, and the accessories we put on them and why. So, little backstory, the kids coming off Super Mini, so the go-to class is 125. So we did a 125 and a 200. The reason for that being, the 200 share so much in common with 125. They're not alike, they are. So anything we needed with this race bike being the 125, if something was to happen, we needed a part, we can rob it off this 200, use it for whatever we need. The clutch cover's the same, the stator cover's the same. I mean, almost everything but the pipe, cylinder, and the crank are identical. I mean, if you pull a skid plate off a 125 and look back, the hole for the starter is still there. It's just plugged up. So, and then plus the 200 is eligible in most light classes in local races. But when you go to a GNC, there you're limited to the 150cc, but we can use all the parts. Plus, on the flip side of it, I ride in a vet class. So if anything happens to my bike, I can use the 200 also. So it's serving double duties. Now, for the accessories we put on it, we'll go over some of the stuff that we added to it. Racing the higher scrambles, you're not into building up all the power and all that. So the motors all stay stock. We're not worried about that. We're looking to finish the race as few as DNFs as we can, so we can just gain as many points as we can. So everything we did is really just to make the bike survive us. So we'll start on the top. Some of it now, we're amateur riders wrecking once a lap. You know, we don't go around this thing all day without crashing. Hand protection's a must-have, so we do the full wraparound. These are the cycle guards. These are my go-to guards I like. Keeps your levers safe in here, my fingers, your digits safe. I like the handlebar mounts on them. They keep them more solid than clamping around the bars. You crash, they're less, they can't twist versus the ones that clamp around the bars. So, I mean, other people prefer just shields. Some people just have a wraparound. This is what we prefer. Coming back, going through some of the more of the controls, the seat, we did the gut seat cover. Reason behind this is just the ribs on it. It's a stock base, stock foam. You know, long races, you're hour and a half in, muddy races, your arms wear down. Sometimes you don't feel like standing up when you should. So this gives you a little traction so you ain't having to hang on as tight and slipping back. So going down to the foot controls, you'll see these are not the new pegs that come on the 25s. That's my own little reason behind that. Last year I had an incident where I clipped a log, ripped a hoe peg off. Went back and got it. The peg didn't have a scratch on it. The billet peg didn't, but it bent the mount plumb down. I had to come back and weld my mount back on and everything. So hopes in this, I'm hoping if that ever happened again, maybe these are weaker. I'm hoping it would shear one of them off. Biggest thing, I don't want to have to weld my mount back on. So that's the only reason I did those. Shifter on the other side stock, brake pedal stock. I did add a brake snake to it. The reason I added this, there's a very slim chance, sticks, saplings, you're in the woods trying to cut turns anywhere. You don't know what you're running over. Stuff can get hung in here. That could slow you down. We have to get something out. It's a very slim chance. But then again, I think these, I paid $15 for like 3 of them. So that lets stuff deflect off that, keeps them getting hung in there. Moving up some more of the protection side of it, onto the radiators. Now we did the billet radiator guard straight from Beta. These are really strong, a lot of protection. The way that the side impact on them, you fall over, take a big rock right here, and you're probably still gonna bend the radiator, but you're not gonna crush it. So less chance of leaks. The front guard, a lot more protection than the plastic shields that come on factory. We did go with silicone hoses. These are less chance of getting cut. They're tougher than the factory. Samco clamps, make sure they stay on. Does away with the thermostat. Extra little hose here it did away with, so that's a little extra. Less things can go wrong. Pipe guard. Now this is personal preference. Some people don't like pipe guards. Some people do. I like the carbon fiber Beta ones. It won't ding. Letter pipe, we don't get dings. We can't crush it. But now on the flip side of it, it does transfer a lot of the hit over onto the engine if it do hit anything. You know, it's not going to save your pipe forever, to be honest. The people that don't run them and just get dents in them will probably end up changing pipes about the same time because enough impacts, it will bend the mounts and ends up a bad fit or seal at the head. So when mine gets bent up like that and they're replacing theirs for dents anyway. So that's tit for tat, whichever way you want to do. Now moving back down to the skid plate, this is a TM Design Works skid plate. The plastic ones anymore, these are about more preferred than aluminum or steel. Now this is no brainer, whether you're racing or not. Nobody wants a brand new bike with a crushed frame tube. Nobody wants a hole in their cases. That's a must have. Now the TM ones, you can option these with or without the linkage guards. I like the linkage guards. Coming back, it's just a little bit sliding over stuff. You're less like to catch right here. So really nice extra protection there. I did forget the little clevis. We run the beta clevises here. Now these, not going to help you on endurance, but they take out a lot of slack. They have a lot more, lot tighter tolerances than the factory one. I really like that about it. Coming on back, you can see on the other side, we went ahead and upgraded to a TM Design chain guide. Down here, doing higher scrambles, a lot of, I mean, you're in rocks, roots, anything can get that, even other bikes are end up hitting you. So that's protection against the chain derailing and causing issues there. One thing we didn't have now, rotor guards, really good item. But with this year going to the bigger axle, Beta don't offer the updated rotor guard yet. I'm sorry. So we don't have an option for that just yet. Maybe later we'll add one to it. Now, what you can't see inside the tires, we are running the Nitro Mooses. I avoided these like the plague because everybody acts like they're hard to change. I didn't want to deal with them. But after a few incidents where the kid had, I think we had 2 races where we had flats and it cost us a few positions, we end up going to them. After getting used to putting these in, I now prefer putting these in over a heavy duty tube. My old fingers don't like trying to wrestle the valve stems in and out of with heavy duty tubes. And like I said, once you learn how, they're not as bad as everybody lets on. Now moving back up on the bike, well, you will see the FMF pipe. Now this probably no performance gain here. I just threw this in for the kid. You know, they all like the FMF stuff. So that's just some eye candy for him. You notice, now cleaning up the front, we did go ahead and do away with the headlight. I mean, whether you want it or not, I mean, we didn't feel like leaving it on until we crushed it. Actually, we'd probably slide into a tree and break it, was what happened with us. So we went ahead with the number plate. We did upgrade, change the wiring harness out, just cleaned up a little less wiring on this with the Beta race harness. Gets away a lot of the bulky stuff in here. So, I mean, you could take the regular and unplug all your extra gadgets and just cram all your excess wires up in here. It would be fine, but we just want to have less connections, less likely something happen. Now moving back, you see we added an iron meter to this one. It is a race bike, so we want to be able to keep up with hours, keep up with our service, make sure everything's replaced when it should be. Gas tank. Now, if you're racing 2-hour races, you have to have. It's a must-have. You can be out there 2 hours. You may end up out there 2.5 hours. You're not going to go 2.5 hours on a stock tank if you're wringing that thing out. Now, see, suspension. We sent ours back to Beta, had it set up specifically for him, for his race prep, but for his weight and riding style. That's something that's a little personal. It's up to you. I mean, that's not going to make you finish a race or not, but I mean, set up right, it will help you last longer as far as feeling better, not wearing you down as much. So now guys, that's about everything. I'm sure I missed something, but that's the whole build here. I mean, these bikes are new. I wanted to shoot the video before we went out and rode them a little bit because they're never going to look this good again. So maybe we'll see you guys at the races this summer. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll try to keep bringing you more Beta content to the channel.